name is Ralph George. I'm the CEO and founder of SmileFy and the creator of SmileFy. Today, we're gonna start a 3D case and we're gonna go step by step, and I'm gonna explain what you need to know to create a beautiful 3D design and a mock-up for your patient. So we go and select menu, new patient, and patient digitalization. For the simple 3D design, I need one picture and one intraoral scan. I calibrate both files. I select 3 points on the picture and 3 points on the intraoral scan. We need to keep the same order: red left, orange in the middle, green on the right side. The button set points is flashing red, so I need to click and the calibration is done automatically. Now I can use the buttons, position, rotation to calibrate and to adjust my scan. Please consider that the picture is usually distorted depending on what camera or lens do you use. So there is a small shift that you are gonna see in the calibration. Picture and intraoral scan is calibrated, so you have position, buccal, lingual, and apical, coronal to the left, to the right. And then you have zoom. You can zoom in or out. You have rotation, so you can rotate the model in every single direction, 3D rotations, so that your intraoral scan is matching with the face. You can change the colors of your intraoral scan, and you have the opacity option to check and to see how the calibration is as precise as possible with the picture. We go to the next screen and we save the case. Now, having a picture and having an intraoral scan, we create the first version of the digital patient. Digital patient means that we have patient files and we have a calibration project. This digital patient now contains a picture and the intraoral scan, so we never calibrate again the files because we have them already in the digital patient calibrated. I'm gonna start a new project called 3D and I'm gonna use the digital patient, and we start with the 3D smile frame. This screen is important because we need to calibrate the perfect occlusal position for our intraoral scan. Perfect frontal position, profile, and occlusal position. I can use the grid as a visual reference to set the midline of the palatal area. I can use the rotation buttons to make sure that the profile and the frontal position is perfectly horizontal and 90 degrees to the front. And in this step, the most important part is to create the perfect occlusal curve that I need for my design. Occlusal curve. If the patient is not symmetric, so I need to turn off the symmetry and build my occlusal curve, set my occlusal curve as accurate as possible. This occlusal curve is important because we create the 3D smile frame based on your settings, right? Occlusal curve is set. We have the option to change the profile view from right to left. We can turn off and on the symmetry. We can show or hide the grid, and we can use the rotation buttons to perfectly calibrate the position. In the next screen, we have 4 windows: picture, intraoral scan, profile, frontal, and occlusal position. And we create the 3D smile frame. The 3D smile frame is the innovation and the unique feature of SmileFy, of the SmileFy platform. And I created the 3D smile frame because it's much more accurate than the 2D smile frame. Having the 3D smile frame, creating a 3D smile design is going to be very easy, and we just need to understand how the 3D smile frame is working. So first of all, we set the position of the smile frame. We set the incisal position of the smile frame where we want to have the new smile. Afterwards, we can set the occlusal angulation in a way that we define the smile curve. If you are used to the 2D smile frame, you understand easily what a 3D smile frame is actually doing. It's exactly the same way, but it's much more accurate because having a 3D smile design, we do have a 3D space. So it's much more logical that we use the 3D smile frame. Now I can set the height of my central incisors. I define how big my central incisors are gonna be. And of course I can set the ratio so that I define in the first step my first position of my 3D smile design. I think I'm happy with the position and how the smile frame is set. We do have position, rotation, facial flow, of course, and then we have height, ratio, the smile curve, the midline, so we can shift the midline. As you can see, we can shift the midline, but the real midline. So the teeth are rotating on the occlusal curve, and we can set the midline properly, not simulating a midline shift, but really setting the midline properly. Then we have the occlusal angulation and the opacity of the intraoral scan. The next step is adjustments. Now, the first step, we need to define what do we want to design, right? We have presets, we have mockup. It is second premolar to second premolar. We have the social smile canine to canine. We have the customized version where you can click and select the teeth one by one, and we have full arch. So we're gonna go with social smile, for example. You have the numbers of teeth, international and US. And we're gonna set this preset. Now we have canine to canine, that's the social smile. Next, what we need to do is to define the width of every single tooth. So we're gonna widen the centrals, we're gonna widen the laterals, just a click, and we're gonna set the distal edge of our canine as accurate as possible. You have the option to decide, you have the option to define the width of your new design. Now, you see the button is blinking red. So we click on it, and now we calculate the 3D smile design based on the 3D smile frame that you have set. So the 3D smile frame helps you to start the 3D smile design with a very accurate position rotation of the teeth, and to offer you the visual reference to customize the smile design in a very easy way. We do have position, we can bring the smile buccal or lingual, we have the occlusal angulation, so we still can change the occlusal angulation of our 3D smile frame. We have the teeth chart, so we can, the dental chart, we can click and select different teeth if we want to, and we do have the width of every single tooth. Of course, if you have a prep, you can select the prep, for example, and then create the 3D smile frame in the ideal position of the design. Instead of additive design, you are gonna have the ideal design, which can be also subtractive. Then we have at the bottom, we have the views, all occlusal, profile, the free view, and the 3D smile frame. As you can see, that's the way the 3D smile frame calculates the templates, and that's gonna be for us easier to proceed to the next step and to create the smile design. So we go to the next step, and of course in the next step we have all the options to create this design properly, but we do have a very good start like we have here. So I'm gonna show you all the options that we have. Number one, then the first option at the top, design. So you have position, rotation, and size. We have the opacity of the scan. You have presets like 50%, 25%, or 100%. Then we can link the right and left side. We can block the intersection. So if we move teeth, for example, mesial or distal, and they overlap, we are able with the intersection to block the movement and to stop the teeth from overlapping. We can group, of course, all teeth and then change them together. We can select one side or the other if we want to adjust only one side. So we have a lot of options here. We have 4 views. We have the occlusal view, the 12 o'clock view. In case you have a facial scan, then you can display all the views here. And in the second option, we have options, so you can mirror the teeth, you can reflect the design. If you, for example, if you select a central incisor and you change the height of the central incisor, you just reflect the design on the other side, so that you it's easier, right? That you have all the controls and it's easier for you to design the smile. Then we have the opacity for the design, and we have also a very interesting and important feature here to display the red proportion, the lines of the red proportion or the golden proportion, so that you have a visual reference how to place and how to design your teeth. So let's create our mock-up. I'm gonna adjust here the design using the controls. I'm gonna bring everything more mesial. Let's see the angulation, and the canine is so far okay. Let's make sure that the laterals is also in a nice position. So we need small adjustments. Of course, the smile frame is going to be, the 3D smile frame is going to be more and more precise. It's going to be more and more accurate, so that we are going to, if the 3D smile frame is set correctly and as accurate as possible, we don't need to readjust the smile. We're going to get an accurate result. So I'm gonna design here a little bit. Let's see, the canine is fine. The lateral is a little bit too small, so we're gonna fill the space and the central incisors. More apical, and I think I want them a little bit more, yeah, bigger. Okay, so that's the way we adjust the design and create our mock-up. So I think I am okay with the design so far. Maybe like this. Okay, so I think I am okay with the design. We can now, of course, rotate and make sure that everything what we have here is set as accurate as possible. All these controls are very easy to use, and they were in a good position anyway from the 3D Smile frame. So that's the 3D screen. We do have mixed templates, the mixed template option. So we have here a lot of templates which we can use. By clicking on the template, I can preview the template. And if I choose select, then I can select the template. For example, like I change the centrals, right? You see, I do have a different design right now. Changing the centrals, I do have a different form, a different gingival margins, and even the incisal edges and the incisal embrasures are different. So right now I can mix and I can check what design is gonna match more with my patient and what looks very in harmony with the face. And that's the way we can mix the templates, and we can choose a design for our patient that is beautiful, that is in harmony with the face and everything else. If I'm happy with my design, I can, in the options screen, I do have more features. For example, I can display the facial flow. I can display the facial flow of the patient, analyze and design accordingly. I can simulate the smile in the mouth, or bringing the STL over the picture. In case my automatic marked lip from the AI module needs correction, I click on the marked lip and I just adjust. I need to adjust maybe the 1 point here. Oops, too much. And here we go, like this. So you see all this stuff was marked automatically by the AI module, but I can still do some manual adjustments. And I can show my smile frame as a reference to check if my design is properly done. A very interesting option we have here, measurement. So if you have, for example, a design like this, we do have the measurement option, and you can directly measure, for example, your design, your tooth, your 3D tooth. It's based on STL measurements. So now our central is 10.0, and we can set another measurement, the ruler, and we can check, for example, here what is the correction for the lateral. So you can create also a beautiful documentation for your lab. And of course, you can check with the opacity, the thickness of your design, and you can bring everything more lingual, of course, so that we don't create our mock-up or our veneers design very buckle and additive and very thick, right? We go to the next screen, and the next screen is the mesh editor screen. The mesh editor screen, you can see here, you can save the case or choose the mesh editor. Now we want to create the mockup, we want to export, and we want to put the mockup in the mouth. We select the mesh editor. As you can see, we have here the design, and we have tools that we can use to make this design more looking more in harmony with the gingival margins, with everything what we have. We need to think when we use templates, the templates are solid objects. If we want to create something that it looks more natural, then we use, for example, the tools, the brushes. This tool, as you can see, brings the mesh a little bit more adjusted to the gingival margins, so it makes everything look very in harmony with the patient actual situation. Let me see, we do have here just a little bit of a gap, and we can adjust the gingival margins, we can adjust the position a little bit and make sure that everything is good. Plus, if we create a mockup, we need to go to the occlusal view, and delete everything what is in the bite. So I select, you can add material, you can smooth out, and you can delete material. So we're gonna delete now everything what is in the bite, so that the patient has a beautiful feeling, right, of seeing the veneers or the mock-up without having everything on the bite, because then they cannot close the mouth, and it's not a good feeling. But oops, here we go. I delete everything from the palatal area, and we do have the mock-up. The mock-up which we can export and print. Okay. Export model, we can export the mock-up. All this stuff is included in your yearly membership, so you don't have to pay anything for exporting the STLs, exporting the designs, exporting the veneers. Everything is included, and you can save the case. Saving the case, we create the digital patient with the smile design on top, and you do also have the mesh editor project, so you can open the mesh editor project, you can remesh, you can re-edit your mock-up, or you can open the digital patient and then see your project and share with your patient, discuss with your patient the project, the design. See, we have now a new slider here in the digital patient called design version 1. So if you have 2 versions or 3 versions, you are going to have several sliders, and then you can just compare your designs by moving the slider to the next version. It's a beautiful way to present to your patient several designs to decide which is the best, and then export. In the export options, we have a lot of different options. Mockup, composite veneers. The mockup is 1 file with the design. Composite veneers are 2 files, 1 full design and 1 model with gaps. All the mesh edited files, or all the original files. It means you have the intraoral scan plus every single tooth. You select your export option and you export your files.